every loss you ever made, it actually had a warning. You just didn't give it importance enough to write it down. In this particular video, I'll teach you how to stop bleeding money and start making some really good profits. So here, this particular video is about trading journals. Why is it important? Why do you need one? And how is it going to change your trading journey? Let's get started with that. So this is what the trading journal would look like. The link to this will be in the description for all of you to copy as well. So go ahead and get that link as well. So right now, when you open this page, when you open this journal, this is what it will be looking like. It will have a few options like rules, define your setups, multiple pages, pre-check trade list, trade lock, weekly review, setup tracker, and literally every important thing that we as a trader need. Alright, so let's get started with the very first page, which is about the trading rules. Now this page needs to be maintained and updated on a daily basis if you change your rules, on monthly basis if you change your rule, on a yearly basis if you change your rule, but this always needs to be updated. Alright, so here you will be noting down all the important rules of your trading journey. So for example, the first rule that we have written down here is trade with the trend. Absolutely, that's the most important part. Second is follow strict stop loss. Now that is important as well. You can just add the third point as well, whatever you might feel. You can note down trade only planned trades. Now this particular rule will help you to not get into trades which you do not want to take, which might make you lose bigger money. It will keep you safe. Alright, so you need to write down all of these rules. Now, why are you writing them down? I mean, you already know them. You can just remember them anytime you want to. But the point is, every time before you get started with the analysis, before you start to trade, this first page called as trading rules is what you are going to be looking at literally every day. So every time you come in front of your screens, this page that you see right here is the page that you are going to be looking at. You will read aloud all of these rules that you have written down, and only then you will move on. All right, so that's the first part of this sheet. On the second half, you can see there is something called as define your setups. Now what is that? All right, so we have multiple type of trades. Just for example, setup number 1 says it's reversal, second can be liquidity sweep, third can be continuation trades. So just write down what kind of trading setups you usually go for and just name them down in front of setup 1, setup 3, setup 4, and if you have any more setups you can write them down as well. Alright, so that is what your first page of the journal is going to look like. Now writing down this setup is extremely important because I'll tell you guys, this journal is almost automated. All right, all the important pointers will automatically keep on getting updated, so a lot of manual work is going to get reduced. All right, so always, and I'll tell you guys, keep your journal updated because it will provide you so many data that you will not be able to think of. All right, so that's your very first page. Now moving to the second part, the pre-trade checklist. Now you want to write down whatever item you want to be looking at. These are some of the most important pointers that we think that you guys should always be following. All right, so what does this checklist item means? Now you want to check out, like if you are going to trade, is the market structure in your direction? Let's say you have a bias towards the long side, towards the short side. Whatever your bias is, does that align with the market structure? You can select either yes or no. If it's a no, obviously you can make a informed decision. Next, is there any news? Is there any event that might affect the trading? If yes, keep that as yes. If no, then keep it on no. All right, so you can keep on making all these kinds of changes. Now the third checklist item is the risk to reward in your favor? If it is, perfect. If it is not, you can wait, you can think, is this the trade that I want to go for? Now why this checklist? I mean, why do we need that? So the most important point about this checklist is, when you will be going through all of these pointers, you will realize that, okay, this particular thing, it's not in my favor and I'm here to take the highest quality trade only. So if the quality of this trade is not that good, I can consider dropping this particular idea, because I always tell this particular thing on every live stream, and I'll repeat it again, that we as a trader are not supposed to take trades every time the price hits our support level or resistance level, but we need to make an informed decision. We need to look at the quality of the trade and only then we trigger the trade. So here are some of the checklist items that you want to be looking at. And if they are, like if most of them are in your favor, probably you can consider the trade. But if maximum of them say no, like okay, this one for example had no, for let's say for this particular pointer SL placement logic was not in our favor, like there is no logical SL, so you'll place that no as well. So if you see multiple no's, that is not the best kind of trade. All right, so you want to basically avoid that one. So that is what your pre-trade checklist looks like. Now these are few of the pointers. You can obviously add more. Journal is supposed to be personalized, so if you feel any more pointers that you think are important, you should definitely note them down and always look at them before, like I mean obviously this is a before checklist, so yeah, you can be checking out all the important pointers as well. Once you are done with this, you can move to the third page, which is called as trade log. Now once we go here, this is where the magic happens. I mean, if you're someone who is new to trading journal, you might feel that okay, this is extremely overcomplicated, but it's actually not. All right, let me tell you why. Now the first part is obviously about date. You note down date whenever you're trading. Second is pair. All right, so you are trading Bitcoin, you're trading gold, you're trading whatever pair, you can just write that down here as well. Direction, you can auto select, like either you went long or you went short. That's the only two options that you get, so you can write that down as well. Let's say you went short in BTC USD. All right, so you went short in BTC USD. All right, now you can also select if the entry was limit entry or market entry. Now why is this important? Why do you need to select that? Because as I said, this journal is mostly automated. All right, most of the important numbers, they get updated on their own. So if you guys remember, and if you guys are informed about this thing, that every exchange has different limit and market order trading fees. So when you select limit order, it will calculate the fees on the basis of limit order. But when you enter on market order, it will calculate all of your profits, your loss and everything on the basis of market order. All right, so let's say we entered on a market order, we went long on, let's say $10. All right, so we entered at $10, we exited at let's say $6. All right, so that is what our exit is, like that is the entry, that is the exit. All right, now we need to enter quantity as well. Let's say it was one quantity, so now it has calculated the fees. It will auto update the profits as well. So that is your trading fees. It has also calculated your PNL. As you can see here, this is your profit. Now on a normal journal, like here it says 3.99, but on your journal or any normal journal, it would have said $4. Why? Because that's the difference between the price entry and exit price. But this journal, as I said, it's extremely automated. It deducted the trading fee as well. So now you have written down the exact profit you made, not more, not less, but the exact profit. All right, it also shows you the percentage that you made up 40% profit on this particular trade, so it shows you that as well. Now you can select here right below the setup name, you can select if this was based upon your setup number 1, setup number 2, setup number 3, setup number 4. Now what are these setups? If you remember right in the start of the video, I told you guys that you can just note down what kind of setups you usually go for. Now you can, as I said, the first example was reversal, second could be liquidity, third could be continuation, fourth can be a retest or whatever. All right, so that is what you want to note down, and here you can mention that as well. So as I said, yeah, it gets even easier. Now on the second last column, what you are going to do here is it asks you for screenshot of the link. What is this link? When you enter into a trade, obviously you are doing most of your analysis on TradingView itself, so you can just do this, take a screenshot of wherever you enter, wherever you exited, and whatever information you want to be written down, you can basically write that down on your TradingView chart and just click the link. You can copy the image if you want to. If not, you can just literally copy the link of your chart and paste it. Your TradingView allows you to do that, so that in future when you want to look at what was a particular trade, you can just click on this link and it will show you all the details. And once you're done with that, you want to go on the notes part and you want to just write down what was the important observation you made in this particular trade, what was good, what was not, and you can just note that down as well. Here, as I said, the fees PNL will be auto-filled, so that is all auto-calculated. As I said, it's all automated. You do not need to do manual calculations at all. After that, you can go on the next part, which is about the weekly review. Now you want to update this as well, because trading is not a one-day game. It's not a one-trade game. It is supposed to be looked out as a whole, like what you did throughout a week, what you did throughout a month, what you did throughout a quarter. So that is what you want to be looking at. So this is how you are going to keep yourself updated. You want to keep on adding what you did on your first week, on your second week, on your third week, how many trades you took, what was the win percentage, what was the total PNL, and all of this are basically automated anyways. All right, so it will give you the numbers. You can update it however you want to. All right, now there is a specific column which I got added to this journal, is top mistake review, because good things are obviously good, you want to keep on continuing that, but mistakes that you do are supposed to be done once only. All right, so you want to write down whatever was your top mistake of the week. If there were 1, 2, 3, as many, you want to note them down. And as I said, every time when you open the journal, before you get in front of your screens, you are going to be looking at all of these rules, right? This is what you are going to be doing. So just with that, you will also be reading this top mistakes that you do. Let's say you over leverage, let's say you went higher quantity and whatnot. That is what you're going to note that down here, so that every time when you start to trade, every time when you're in front of your screen, you do not repeat these mistakes again. And just in front of that, you have what I'll fix next week. So yeah, that is what you want to note that down here as well. Like, what are the exact things? All right, you need to be particular. You cannot write vague answers. You need to write down what was exactly that pointer that you need to get fixed. Once you have done that, you will see massive changes in your trading journey, because now you're going to stay true to yourself. Let's say if you have been watching the video till now, I'm sure you are interested in this journal. You have been a part of this channel for a long time. But if you're someone who is new, guys, just make sure to hit the subscribe button and like this video as well. And so once you are done with the weekly review, now you want to move to the most final part of this journal, which is your setup tracker. Now, as I told you guys, that most of this trading journal is automated. So if you remember, on the very first page, you updated what were your setups. Setup 1 is reversal, setup 2 is liquidity, setup 3 is continuation, or whatever is your trading setup, right? So every time you took a particular setup as a trade, you will update that in your trading log. So you will update that right here. Okay, so this particular trade was on setup 3, this one was on setup 4, this one was on setup 4, again a setup 4. All right, so you can note that down here, like what was the exact setup. And once you get here, it will show you that, okay, you've took one trade using setup number 1, you've took about 4 trades using setup number 4, you have took 2 trades on setup number 3. It will show you the winning percentage. It will show you all the important pointers, so that in future, when you want to make changes to your trading strategy, when you want to learn more, when you want to make any alignment, or if you want to get into a new strategy, it will actually help you. Like, even with your new strategy, when you're testing that out, this particular part will help you a lot with that as well. All right, so as I mentioned, this particular journal will be available for you guys as well. You can literally click on the link which is in the description. This is available for all. You guys can just click on the link, have it on your PC, have it on your screens, and I would say get started with this trading journal as soon as you can if you want to see some really good and concrete trading PNLs and trading journey and whatnot. All right, so you want to be doing that. This is one of the most important point. As a trader, I did adapt this in the most early phase of my trading, and that is one of the major reasons why it did not take me a lot of time to learn. Obviously, I'm still learning, I'm still a trader, but as I said, it did not take me a lot of time, because I tried to never repeat the same mistake again. Yeah, new mistakes are fine, but repeating the same old mistakes are not. So that is what my logic was. That is what I always wanted to do. Alright guys, so that was it for this particular video. Thank you so much for watching, and before you leave guys, just make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.